Hi, welcome to Basejump. The first thing you'll see when you log into Basejump is the Data tab. This is the collection of all the data points that you've generated in chat. Now, how do you know what to ask Basejump AI? A good place to start is the Explore tab, where you can see which data source has been shared with your team. In this case, we can see we have two data sources, HR database and the sales database. You have two options here. You can see a diagram of the database. This is an entity relationship diagram, so it shows all the different tables in the database and how they relate to one another. We also have the ability to explore the actual tables in a database. So if we click on Explore here, we can see it'll load up the countries table from the HR database. All right, so now that you understand the data that you have access to a little bit more, we can ask some questions. To do that, we can go down here and click on Ask Basejump AI. Here we can see that I have an existing chat, so I'm going to start a new chat. Okay, so this is a new chat, and I'm going to ask about our HR database. For example, how many employees are in the HR database? All right, so it looks like there are 40 employees in the HR database. We have two options here. You can see the SQL that Basejump AI generated to retrieve this metric, as well as seeing the metric itself. And then we have the option to save that metric here as well. So I'm going to call this employee count demo. We also have the options to share this with the team immediately, as well as save it to an existing collection. I'm just going to keep it private for now. All right, so I've saved that data point. Now let's ask some follow-up information, like how many employees make more than 6,000. All right, so it looks like of the 40, 26 make more than 6,000. I could say, give me a report of these employees. And I'm going to ask them to include their department. All right, so let's take a look at that report. Fantastic. I've got the employee ID, their name, email, phone, hire date, their salary, and which department they're in. All right, this looks good. Okay, employee report. I think that title's not descriptive enough. I'm going to say employees earning more than 6,000. And let's save that one. All right, so now you have kind of an idea of how the data generation process looks like. Now let's go back to our data tab, and we can see our new data points that we just saved here. Now we have the opportunity to actually refine any data points, whether they're ours that we've created ourselves or some that have been shared with us. And to do that, we can just click this context menu and go to start a chat. So this will start a new chat with that particular data point as the context. You can see here that the first message is I'd like to start chatting about the employees earning more than 6,000, and then Basejump replies with, here's the data you requested and ask me anything. So we can confirm that this is the right report that we want to chat about. And now I can say something like include their job as well. All right. So now if we look at our report, we can see that the job title is also being included as well as the department. So that's great. I've now taken an existing data point and I've augmented it a little bit. So we're going to say employees earning more than 6,000. I'll call this version 2 and save that. All right, so now we've just refined an existing data point. And if we go here, we can see we've got this data point and the version 2 of that data point. Okay, so what if we wanted to ensure that a particular data point is accurate? For example, somebody sent me this highest paid employees data point, so I'm going to compare that. And I had created an average salaries data point earlier, so I'm going to see if this how these are different. So I'll click compare. You can see that Basejump returns an analysis. It says they're similar. It says the query shares some or all tables, but the output is different. So here it's defining what's different about these. So highest paid retrieves detailed information about 5 of the highest paid employees, including their name, jobs, and titles. Okay, so it's identifying high pay earners, whereas the average salary query focuses on summarizing the distribution by calculating the average salary of the top and bottom halves of the employee list. Oh, okay. And then you can see the SQL used to generate each of these reports. So this is a great way of seeing how your data points might differ from somebody else's. And it's a good way to validate whether or not you have the best data point for your needs. All right, so we touched on it a little bit. Basejump uses this concept of teams to determine who has access to what. So as a company administrator, you'd be able to create a new team here. So let's call this team sales, and then be able to assign a team a particular data source. So I want to give the shop database to the sales team. And because I'm a admin, I can actually switch here between these two different teams now. So if I were to go to my Explore tab, now you can see that as somebody who is on sales, I would only have access to this particular data source. Whereas if I was on the default team and I went to the Explore tab, I would have access to multiple data sources. We also have the ability at the company level settings to enable white labeling, and this is subject to change, of course. If this is enabled, you can change the logos used within the app as well as the theme. So you can switch between dark and light theme as well as change those logos, and more features coming in the future. And then from here is where you can add your data sources. Simply click add a database and enter in the connection details for your database. And then you can assign it to your team and start chatting. All right, this has been a brief demo of some of the features in Basejump AI. Thanks for watching.